Excuse me. Mic check. Take two. Let me put up the comments. Are we here? Let me just make sure we're here first. Take two. Let me know if you're here. Hit the like, hit the share. It fell off on me. It fell off on me. I had technical difficulties. DC, please don't start on my intros, bro. I keep telling y'all I'll be on the phone. Listen, anytime anybody want to pay me for a 1 p.m. start time, I'll stop my day. I'll stop doing what I'm doing. I'll stop. I won't take that XYZ amount of money phone call that I'm on. I'll stop my phone call just for the show. But the show, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do an experiment, DC. I'm gonna put my Cash app up on the screen for those that want to make a small monetary donation. Let's see how that shit work out. And you tell me if I should start at one or should I listen to a $1,200 phone call. It's a no-brainer, brother. It's a no-brainer. You and I both know it. You and I both know it. Hey, I'm just waiting for some people to get back in. We fell off. We had a little technical difficulty, but I think we got a few good things to talk about in the next 20 minutes because I've been introing and I've been outroing for the last hour and a half trying to get us up and booted and going, like DC complaining about. It's his fault that I'm in a bad mood now. Should I cut the mic on red? Because DC didn't put me in a bad mood. I thought we were better than that, brother. Nah, don't try to love the intros now. I threw that Cash app up on the screen. He was like, "Oh no, man, start that shit at 1:30 like you've been doing, bro. It's tight out here. It's fucked up out here. The street's expensive. You know it's bad when the inflation hit the dice game. God damn, bro. Motherfuckers they don't bet the 6 and the 8s like they used to. They be wanting odds and discounts. On a street dice game, you know it's bad when inflation didn't hit the streets. When it hit the crooks, shit. It's bad. Hey, it's real bad out here, bro. I couldn't even get a bet the other day. Bet the 6, bet the 8. No, man. No, bet the 9, bet the 5. Bet the 6, bet the 8. All right, you give me 2-1. I'm not giving. When they start doing that, man, have you seen what the prices are at the gas station? I'm not giving you no odds on no street bet. 6-8 been that way since I was in the 3rd grade. The fuck? What we doing out here now? Inflation and tow the streets up. Man, I could go to the casino and bet like this. Circus ass bets. I need some. No, I'm not doing that. What's good with everybody, man? Just doing a mic check because we fell off. We fell off. Sorry, I'm reading a couple comments. Yeah, we fell out. So I'm just fell off. I'm letting some people get back in. I'm watching the X. I'm watching Twitter, Facebook. What's good, sis? There's Alethea. She probably ain't talking to me. She probably talking to her husband. Jerica said, well, if Trump get in the office, y'all rich folks will probably be thriving. Yeah. Because we know that Biden taking care of all the broke folks, right? We all shop at the same grocery store, but the broke folks are filling their carts up a whole lot better than the rich folks, right? That's how that's working, Jerica. Okay, make it make sense. Make it make sense. I tell you what happens. Let me tell you how this shit is working out. A lot of people, and this is real talk. I don't want to get into politics, but I will say this. This is what's funny about this. This is what's funny about people who think that one man doing something better than the other man. This is what's funny about this. I'm watching school. I'm watching people that got what do they call it? Relief, college reimbursement, or whatever. I'm watching how certain people are going to work every day. The working class people who didn't go to college, and I'm watching them pay their supervisors college off. And if I was an assembly line worker, or if I was somebody that didn't go to college and I was paying my boss's tuition off, his student loan, he's making almost twice as much as me. And now I didn't get to go to college. He did or she did. I would be pissed if I was paying their college off when in fact they're making more money than me. And and now I got to pay their loan off. And they had opportunities to do something that I didn't have. And now the government is paying their loans off. And they're using my hard-earned tax dollars that I go to work for every day. They're using those monies to pay off my boss's student loans. I would feel a certain way about that. I would. Because look, if you're not going to do it for everybody, this is the same group that want everything to be equal. Then if you didn't go to college, don't take it out your paycheck. Don't take the taxes to pay somebody else's student loan out of my paycheck. Only if you went to college, they should take that money out of everybody that graduated from college. Take the taxes out of their money. But if you didn't go to college, it's not fair. If you didn't pay for your own school, if you couldn't afford to go to college yourself, why should your tax dollars that you paying now go to pay somebody else's student loan off? That just doesn't make sense to me. I just don't think it's fair. And if you're not going to do it for everybody, don't do it. I would rather look at all the folks that look like us, that look like me, that didn't go to college, who started their own business. They didn't get that 100,000 or 50,000 to start their own business. They sacrificed. They did something else. So how fair is it for the guy who started his business off his own back, off his own money? He didn't get taxpayer money to be able to do that. Get that man reimburse him. Reimburse him. He said they took PPP loan forgiveness out my check and no one complained. Well, they did that for everybody though, didn't they? It wasn't a Democrat thing. It wasn't a Republican thing. It wasn't none of that. PPP loan was to keep the economy going. That was for business. That was for you to get your paycheck. It wasn't for somebody to do business. It was for them to stay in business, and it was for them to pay you your paycheck. Nobody did. And if somebody got they building painted because they took a PPP loan out, paycheck protection plan. Know what the PPP stand for. Did you still get a check at when the radio station was shut down? Did they still pay you when everything was closed? That was your PPP loan right there. They paid you because they got PPP, paycheck protection. That's what it was. They got the money to pay you. They got the money so they could stay in business, so they can pay their employees. That's what it is. That's what it is. It wasn't to keep the business going so they can build better buildings or paint the building. It was just to pay their bills so they can stay in business, so you can have a place to come back to when you got back when you got come back to work. That's what it was for. It wasn't a rich thing or a poor thing. It's a false equivalent to say that PPP and student loan relief are the same thing. It's not. Not all small businesses got PPP. A lot of us really don't get with me on that, because that's personal with me and it's touchy. If you know anything about small business, PPP didn't help small business. That's why 40% of them failed in America during COVID. That's why a lot of them over at Walmart now working versus still being in business. So please don't tell me that PPP was something that helped every business. It didn't. It did not help the small guy, because a lot of the small people didn't even qualify for it. If you didn't have debt, you didn't qualify for PPP. If you didn't have certain amount of employees, you didn't qualify for it. You got people talking about PPP, don't know nothing about it. If you had a business and you qualify for PPP, come on in here, let's have a conversation. But if you're just going to use these false equivalents, it's not a fair argument. Let's get on with the show. I ain't about to get curveball, sideball with this old crazy ass shit. I got to have an equal conversation. I know, Jenny. They really think this is the PPP. They really think this is the student loan stuff. This is why I can't get the Diddy. This is why I can't get the Diddy, because I always get the sidetracked and all this old type of stuff. I'm getting there. Give me 1 second. I got some other things I got to get in before that. But all I'm going to say to you is, if you're going to have a conversation, make sure that they match up. Make sure that the equivalent, that the arguments, it's not apples and oranges. It might all be fruit, but the arguments may not be the same. She said, "Oh, you mad? Why you brought it up?" I didn't bring it up. Emmanuel Livingston brought it up. He brought PPP up. All I brought up was the fact that somebody said something about student loans, and then I made a comment about it. And if that takes pleasure, if people get pleasure out of making somebody mad, what does that say? Dominique said, I've been waiting 2 days for Diddy, but you keep talking politics. I know. I know. My apologies, Dominique. I'm going to dedicate this show to you because I'm going to bring Diddy. But before I go into Diddy, I got to go into this situation from yesterday. I got to bring in something from yesterday. I know. I got you. I got you. Got it. I just did. I just want to clean something up from yesterday. When Ron called, remember Ron's call from yesterday? And I said I didn't really hear anything about what the police chief said. That I didn't hear that the police chief said anything about talking to the principal. I got that clip. I have that clip, and I want to kind of, if you don't mind, let me go over that a little bit because I still stand on my circle of I think that the police have a huge responsibility in what just happened. A lot of you don't want to hear that. A lot of people don't really want to do that. A lot of people want to put this on the parents. And y'all know I'm about parent accountability. All right. But in this particular case, I think we have to look at some of the things that may have happened that would have prevented this situation. And yesterday I asked Ron, well, he called back and I wanted to clarify from him what he was talking about when he said, no, man, I'm telling you, you know how he is. I'm going to do my best Ron impersonation or his voice, right? No, man, I'm telling you. The chief of police said that they talked to the principal. Now, before I get into this principal conversation, let me just say this. I'm an honest and fair guy when it comes down to argument. This is what I'm going to say about that argument that I had with Ron. Ron was absolutely right. He was correct. I'm not saying that he was lying. I never said he was lying at that time. But based on the conversation that I heard the police chief have with the public on video, he was right. I'm gonna let me pull the video up if you guys don't mind before I get too far into it, so I can just hit the play button. Excuse me one second. My daughter is still texting me, guys, so bear with me. Oh, I'm definitely gonna do my daughter stuff before I move forward. Hold on. All right. So look, Ron was right. The police chief did make some comments that was in the line of they spoke with someone. Now, I don't know if I don't want to put words in Ron's mouth because you know he'll call me and check me in his own kind of way. But I'm gonna let you hear what the principal, what the police chief says she did. She said there was a call that came out to the scene of where the incident was. I know where this is now. It was the parking lot of the school. Okay, I've been in that parking lot plenty times. When we used to skip school, we would cut across the apartment complex, the high rise, and find ourselves back in the back where the playground and where this parking lot is. It's where student park. It's student parking back by the baseball field and the little park back there. Okay, so we know this area. If you went to Withrow, you know this area. All right. So what happened is the police showed up from a disturbance that was called by a neighbor. The neighbor said, sorry about that, guys. My daughter is really, she's at her, she volunteers at a hospital and she's having some issues with some things there and I'm trying to help her out with that. So bear with me one second. So the police get a disturbance call, loud music, loud noise. They show up, the kids are in the parking lot. All right. The police officers on the scene, I believe it was two, have a conversation with some folks on the scene. They claim they claim that they had a conversation with someone and or with some folks, and that those folks claim that the principal said it was okay for them to be there. So this is one of the reasons why I don't like having conversations about stuff that I don't really know a lot about, where the real information is not out there. This is one of the reasons why, because I gave this story, this situation, a lot of energy yesterday. And a lot of it, when I was making my points, is bullshit, because my points don't match the reality of what really happened. I'm going off of some if and buts and all that old shit, and here I am wasting my time, my energy, wasting my time talking about something that wasn't quite accurate. A lot of people are okay with that. They cool with that. That makes their day. That, I guess that gives them relevance. I don't do that. I try not to waste my time on shit that's just not real. So here's what I see. I'm going to let everyone hear the press conference, the short clip, the Channel 5 version of the press conference. Okay? And what I'm getting out of this might be a little bit than what other people are getting out of it. So I'm going to let you hear it first, and then I'll tell you my feel about it. That fair? Let's try it like that. Check it out.
Family has many questions after an 18-year-old was shot hours after graduating, and police say this all happened early Saturday morning as kids were hanging out behind Withrow High School. WLWT News 5's Rachel Hersheimer joins us live. So, Rachel, what exactly are their concerns?
Well, Chris, the family of Lamont Wiggins tells me a call was made to police about a large gathering taking place at Withrow High School, but officers didn't break it up. And then hours later, Wiggins was shot and killed. And today, Police Chief Terry Thigi addressed those concerns and said why nothing was done.
15 to 20 shots were heard.
A high school senior killed hours after he walked the stage at Withrow's graduation.
The patient is by the baseball field behind Withrow. Police are requesting you expedite.
Cincinnati police say it happened when 30 to 40 high school students were hanging out behind Withrow around 3:30 Saturday morning. At least one person opened fire. 18-year-old Lamont Wiggins was shot and killed.
Whoever did this, you couldn't have any type of care in the world.
About 4 hours before the shooting, dispatchers are heard in radio traffic alerting officers about teens hanging out behind the high school.
There's reports of 30 subjects playing loud music in the parking lot, possibly a party.
The officers then explain to the dispatcher what's going on.
The students have this cleared by the principal to be here for a little while longer to celebrate graduation.
Now,
pause. That was the police officer talking to dispatch. Did you all hear what the police officer said to dispatch? Let's listen to it once again, if you don't mind. Hold on one second. This is the police officer who was on the scene, who's talking to dispatch, telling them what's going on at the scene. Check it out.
what's going on.
The students have this cleared by the principal to be here for a little while longer to celebrate graduation.
Now,
the police officer just said that the students said they have this clear by the principal to be here for a little while longer. So the police officer is just going to take these kids' word that the principal said it's okay. I thought y'all said that the police called the principal. Who said that one? Who said that I told you it sound kind of weird that a police officer would call the principal, or somebody had contact with the principal and the principal was like, yeah, okay, it's cool that they're there. That's no problem. Let them celebrate. Let them do whatever they want to do. I know there's no supervision there. They ain't gonna hurt. There ain't nothing wrong. They ain't breaking no rules and no laws. That just don't sound like the principal that was out there letting balloons out in the air for this young man. It just don't sound like that would be a call that a responsible principal would make. That's just my opinion. Wait, there's more. There's a lot more. We ain't even heard from the police chief yet. So y'all really believe, did you hear what the police officer said to the dispatch? I'm talking to some of the kids here, and they're saying they have permission to be here by the principal. Who verified that? Was there supervision? Was there were there teachers or chaperones or anybody in that parking lot who was there to verify what the kids were talking about? Because we all know kids don't lie. All right, DC, I'll play it once again. Check it out.
Playing loud music in the parking lot, possibly a party.
The officers then explained to the dispatcher what's going on.
The students have this cleared by the principal to be here for a little while longer.
The teachers, the kids, the students have this cleared. This is his quote. There it is on the screen. That is the evidence right there that will be taken into court, clearing the school, clearing the principal, because it clearly says the officer made a quote. He made a comment straight to dispatch. He said the students has said it's cleared by principal to be here for a little while longer to celebrate graduation. I need clarification from all my people that was shooting all that shit yesterday about these kids. I ain't even halfway there. Let us finish what we doing here, and then you can babble, boo boo, all like you was doing yesterday. You can babble, boo boo about how this is not the police's responsibility. E said he didn't say the student said it. Can you see the screen, E, or are you driving? The officer says, in quotes, the students have cleared by the student said it's been cleared by the principal to be here for a little while longer to celebrate graduation. He said that the students have this cleared by the principal. He didn't have a conversation with the principal. Or he would have said that. I'm here with the principal now, or I'm talking to the principal on the phone, and he's cleared that it's okay for these students to be on the property at 11:30 at night for a little bit longer. Let me let you finish listening to it.
A party.
The officers then explained to the dispatcher what's going on.
The students have this cleared by the principal to be here for a little while longer to celebrate graduation.
Now Wiggins' family wants to know why the party wasn't broken up at that time.
Why didn't y'all shut it down? The park closes at 9 o'clock. If you see teenagers in the park doing God what knows who, whatever, why didn't you shut it down?
Today, Police Chief Terry Thigi addressed this question mark in a case that's still unsolved.
Yes, I am aware that there was a call for service earlier in the evening for that, and when the officers arrived, they spoke with a few individuals who we know who those individuals are, and at that moment, it was a party. It was a youth party.
Pause. I don't know what y'all feel about this. I guess you can say from the first quote that the students have been cleared by the principal. It sounds like maybe the principal gave somebody clearance. We don't know that for sure. But now when you rebound after a day or two later, and the chief of police clearly says, we had conversations with some folks there. We know who they are. And she doesn't say we had conversations with the principal. I think what they're doing is protecting underage people who had these conversations. I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe she's protecting the principal for some type of reason. I don't know. But I would think that if the police chief and them had conversations with the police with the principal, she would have made that clear right then and there that it was okay for the kids to be there. That's what I would think. Now, I could be totally wrong. But this is what Ron said she said, and I'm going to let you hear it.
Doing God what knows who, whatever, Why didn't you shut it down?
Today, Police Chief Terry Thigi addressed this question mark in a case that's still unsolved.
Yes, I am aware that there was a call for service earlier in the evening for that, and when the officers arrived, they spoke with a few individuals who we know who those individuals are, and at that moment, it was a party. It was a youth party.
Okay, I'm going to apply my common sense here. And I'm going to say that since she said when we got to the scene, being her officers got to the scene and they had conversations with a few people, I don't know if you need conversations with a few people if there's one particular person in charge, being the principal. I doubt that the principal was the one in the parking lot who said it's okay that they're here. We're going to let them stay here for a little bit longer, because that's not how the police officer read it off to dispatch. That's not how I'm just not, it's not equaling up to me. I don't think that the principal was in the parking lot that night and gave them permission through the police right then and there. I don't think the principal was there and said, hey, I'm letting them stay here for a few more hours, for a little bit longer. It wasn't a scheduled party. Now, here's what check this out. Listen closely to what the police chief says it is. All right, I'm going to let her tell you what she said it is. Check it out.
Yes, I am aware that there was a call for service earlier in the evening for that, and when the officers arrived, they spoke with a few individuals who we know who those individuals are, and at that moment, it was a party. It was a youth party. There was no violence reported. It was a party, so there was no need at that moment to break it up and send them home.
There is a need to break it up and send it home if it's not a legitimate supervised party on school grounds. The first thing an attorney is going to attack is who approved the party. Show us the permits. Show us the supervision. Show us what's been signed off by the school board of Withrow having a party in the parking lot, in the student parking lot in the back. Show us the permit. Show us where the school board has signed off on it. Show us. Show us who was assigned as an adult or a school person. Show us who was assigned to monitor that party. Okay, I tell you what, if my daughters and them want to go have a party over at Sycamore High School tonight at 11:30 in the driveway of the school, in the student parking section, how y'all think that's going to work out when the police roll up? Even if they never got a disturbance call. The only reason why the police showed up is because they were called. They were called to show. They didn't just randomly roll up. They were called by the neighbors. Loud music. In some parts of Cincinnati, that's a fine. I thought she said they wasn't breaking any rules. So you can just roll up to any school in Cincinnati Public School and throw a party in the student drive, student parking, and you're not breaking any rules. If kids just went over and had a party at Taft High School in the student section, parking section, if they just want to have a party with 50 kids or 30 or 40, 50 kids, if they want to do that, they can do it. It's okay. They don't have to go through the same thing what we go through. They don't have to go out and fill out a permit. Look, I got the list right here of everything you need to do. It's Cincinnati Public Schools, facility rental agreements, the fees, the expected chaperone / security needed. These are all the things that's going to be brought up in a court. This is going to be civil, of course, and they're going to lose. Cincinnati Public School will lose. And the reason they're going to lose, and this is really going to go down to the police, because we got to find out who told that police officer that it was okay for those kids to be out there a little while longer. If it was 11:30 when he came over and they're going to be here a little longer, and this kid gets shot after 3 o'clock in the morning, that's a hell of a little bit longer. And this is what happens when you don't do your job. Davis Denise says, if a principal authorizes this, CPS will be sued. First of all, let me just say this to you guys. Some may agree, some may disagree. A principal can't approve that. All functions on school property has to go through the proper protocol. You have to fill out an application to have a dance or a thing at the school. You have to have approval from the school has to approve it. It has to go through CPS. It can't just be like the janitor can't say, well, I'm going to be here a little late. Y'all go ahead and do y'all thing. He can't do that. The principal can't just say, hey, y'all, we about to throw this dance, this after school dance, after prom dance. He has to go through the proper channels to do it. That's why I'm telling y'all right now, in my gut, that principal at Withrow don't look like a fool. He don't look like a dummy. And he's out there with these family members. I seriously think that this is some bullshit, that this cop fell for the okie doke. He fell for the banana in the tailpipe when somebody said, well, the principal said it was cool for us to be out here. We only gonna be out here a little bit longer. And a little bit longer turned out to be another 4 hours, 3 hours. I mean, I'm shocked that the people that want to put the police down for bullshit all the time, I'm surprised y'all ain't the ones hollering louder than me. This is your opportunity to show that the police ain't shit, right? I'm not putting this on the principal because I don't deep down inside believe in all that old shit. I know we want to figure out a reason to argue and all this old shit, but I don't believe that the principal said, don't let them stand out there because we don't want no cases on our kids. I don't think that's why he would even say something like that. That's why I don't think he's did it. Been about this. Fame said the principal absolutely has the right to approve. Hold on, there's Fame. He said the principal has the absolute right to approve what he wants in his building. He just has to have school employee on premise during the event. So do you really think, Fame, that he approved them to be in his parking lot with no supervision? Do you really think that he would have been that loose with the rules? And I tell you one thing, if I call the Withrow principal right now and tell him I want to give an event at his school, you know what he's going to tell me to do? To go to the CPS website like I always had to. And the CPS website is going to go through its proper channels. I got it right here. It's going to tell me everything I need to do. It has a rental application. And in that rental application, it covers everything that I have to do to have a special event at that particular school. It tells me how much security I'm going to need based on how many people. It's going to tell me how much insurance I'm going to need. It's going to tell me everything I need in order to give this function. You guys can't possibly think that this principal is that reckless to tell the police, oh, they cool. And if he was on the scene, that's a different situation. If the principal is at that parking lot at the time of them kids being out there, he wasn't out there at 3 o'clock in the morning. I can tell you that now. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say he was there at 11:30 when the police rolled up to answer the disturbance call. Do you really think that principal would have been out there during what got the police to arrive without him having some supervision and telling him, hey, cut it down, it's late, people live right there? If you've ever been to Withrow and seen this parking lot, y'all know that the houses that's right there, y'all know where the houses are. It's like their backyard. Come on, man. Wasn't no principal standing out there. And then when the police chief says we had conversations with several people, who were those several people? Who were the several people that you had conversations with? Y'all know somebody didn't fleeced him. Y'all know a motherfucker done told him on the scene. You know, the principal said it was cool. You know it. Come on, man. Stop playing. Listen.
Whatever. Why didn't you shut it down?
Today, Police Chief Terry Thigi addressed this question mark in a case that's still unsolved.
Yes, I am aware that there was a call for service earlier in the evening for that, and when the officers arrived, they spoke with a few individuals who we know who those individuals are, and at that moment, it was a party. It was a youth party. There was no violence reported. It was a party, so there was no need at that moment to break it up and send them home.
So basically, there it is. It was a youth party. Was that youth party sanctioned at Withrow? I mean, was it an approval party by the board, or did the principal have a after prom dance? Can I give y'all a short scenario of what happened in real life? Because I know my sister just said, here we go with the guessing. It's just things that you experience in life that help you figure other things out. One of the things that I find myself in the city of Cincinnati doing and in other cities is when I do fight cards, I have to rent out venues. I have to rent someone else's building. Let me give you a perfect example of what happened to me one time. Now, there's a lot of young people involved at some of these functions. And when I say young, I mean from 15 years old to 30. That's a young age group for me. And they all attend my functions. Let me tell you what I have to have. I have to have certain, the state requires me to have certain things in order to even put the show on. The venue wants you to have certain things in order for you to put the thing on. And in that state, rule, it's protection, the safety of the people that's coming to your show. So I have to have certain guards, like off-duty police officers. I have to have my own security inside the building. Let me tell you what happened one time. We gave a show over in Kentucky. I'm gone. I'm already gone. It's almost 2 hours. Everybody's paid out. It's 2 hours past the show, an hour and a half past the show. I'm gone. I get a phone call from the building owner. Name is Tom. Tom called me. He said, hey, Wyatt, I'm about to leave, but I can't leave yet because there's still some guys in the parking lot. I asked them several times what was going on. They're just out there, listening to music and just kind of hanging out. And a couple of them are from out of town, and they're waiting. They're just kicking it and talking to some people, and they won't leave. I'm not trying to be an ass, Wyatt, but I need them to leave. I can't leave until they leave. Now I understand what Tom is going through because that's his building. Anything that happens to those people in the parking lot of his building, he has liability on. He can't really leave until the building is clear, the parking lot, the premise is clear. My point of saying that is this. When he told them that they use my name, yeah, we're cool with Wyatt, man. It's all right that we here. He know that we here. When they use my name like that and Tom called me and I said, the first thing that came to my mind was to him, I said, who are they? And he told me the name, and I didn't recognize the name. So what did I tell Tom? I told Tom, I said, bro, I don't know who they are. Handle it the way you would normally handle it. I don't know who they are. The names don't sound familiar to me. And if I can't call them on my phone and ask them to leave, please do what you need to do to clear your premises. And the reason why I did that is because anything that happens on that premise, since I rented it, my insurance is covering it. I have just as much liability as Tom and his property does. So explain to me, what person without any supervision of kids on properties, an educator, would give permission to a group of kids with no supervision in a dark parking lot on CPS property? How does that work? Somebody make it make sense. And then who is the chief talking about when she says, we talked to a couple of people that was there, and we, You know, we know who they are. That don't sound like they talked to some responsible people. It sounds like a cover-up is somewhat in the makings, and the reason why I say that is because she comes with the she kind of tries to back it up with well, when we got there was no crimes being committed, and it was this and this and this and this and that. It was a party. It was a teen party. You can't just have a teen party. You can't just do that. You can't just have no party and you feel like it. That you can't do that. That police officer should have cleared the scene. That police officer had no business listening to kids about what a principal said. And to be honest with you, if the principal was on the scene, that would be different. This would be a whole different conversation from the police chief. You know what she would have said? I can't put words in people's mouths, but I can use my common sense. The police chief would have got on the camera and said, well, you know, our officer got there, assessed the situation and seen that the principal was there or supervision was there. And they said, it's just a teen party and it'll be over soon. So we just cleared them. We cleared. There was nothing wrong here. Can teens just go to a CPS school and have a party in the parking lot if they feel like it? Of course not. The police officer dropped the ball here. Bottom line. Let me see a couple of those comments because I seen one. I didn't get a chance to read it. Hold on, Dominique. Okay, here's one from Emmanuel. He says, ask the chief who they were. We don't have the information. Most of us are speculating. Yeah, but she's making it very easy. Okay, here's the thing. Let's just say that, we are speculating because she wasn't specific on who she talked to. But what would be the big secret if the police talk to the you don't talk to a couple people referencing that the principal said something. You just say, hey, we talked to the principal when we got there. Principal said it was cool for us to stay for a little while longer. The principal said it was cool for them to stay a little bit longer. What would be wrong with that if there's nothing wrong here? Why wouldn't the chief just say that? Why wouldn't the chief just say, hey, you know what? The police officer at the scene spoke to the principal and he said it was okay for them to be here for a little bit longer. We know there wasn't any supervision because 11:30 turned into 3 o'clock in the morning. What supervision is staying out there at 3 o'clock in the morning? What adult is out there with them kids at 3 o'clock in the morning? And what did they say? 20-something shots rang out? Let me let it play out.
So there was no need at that moment to break it up and send them home.
And Wiggins' aunt tells us the kids were going to the school to celebrate their graduation, to feel safe, only to end the night running from gunfire. And so far, no arrests have been made in this case. Live tonight outside CPD headquarters, Rachel.
I'll just give you my opinion on this because it's all opinionated anyway. The only way that the police are clear on this is if if the principal is the one who directly told them it's okay for these kids to be here on the property. They're only going to be here a little bit longer. I just don't believe the principal did that. I don't believe that. If that's the case, the principal would have had to say that to the police officers and he would have had to piece the kids out a little bit later, because we all know that the principal didn't stay out there till 3 o'clock in the morning with these kids. Emmanuel says, if there's no crimes being committed, what was the police supposed to do? Well, there may not have been a break-in and entry. There may not have been a felony 5 or anything like that, but it's clearly trespassing after school hours if kids don't have permission to be on the property. And if you're lying to the police that you have permission to be on the property, it's still a violation. I just don't believe that the principal gave them permission to do that. I think it would have been presented at the press conference when they said we spoke to a few people. And they would have went into the fact that, they were supervised and this bad thing happened, a drive-by happened. Then you talk about the incident. You don't start defending your position. You talk about the incident itself. The defense of its position tells me right there that it's a cover. You're trying to defend something that you've done. You're trying to cover yourself. That's what I get out of it. If it wasn't anything wrong, then say what happened. The kids were there. 20 shots went by on a drive-by. But do we know it to be a drive-by? Or was it a situation where the kids, that within that 30 or 40, the incident happened on the grounds? Or was it a drive-by? Jack says principal won't admit to it, but if he did, his family deserves same money the white kid got that died in the van in Seven Hills. You mean that family does? I agree. I agree. Guys, you know what? I might have to eat my words. But I'm going to defend this principal at this point because of what I heard in that interview with the police chief and what the police officer said to dispatch. I'm not confident. Now, I don't mind being wrong. I'm not confident that I'm not confident that the principal said it's okay for them to be there. I'm not convinced of that. I'm not convinced of that because I think that anybody, if you reach out to any principal, the first thing that the principal has to think of is the safety of the kids. And is it safe that 30 or 40 kids are on your school property without supervision, celebrating in 2024 with the things that's going on today? Listen, I hear what y'all saying. Everybody wants to simplify it and just call it the shooter. Dominique says, why is everyone stuck on the fact that they said the principal said? This is an open investigation. Okay. Everything is not being told. Okay. At the end of the day, a young man lost his life. Yes, he did, tragically. That could have been prevented. So who is responsible for that? The shooter, period. No, it's not, period. Sorry, D. I agree with everything all the way up to it's just the shooter. It's not just the shooter. We're looking at a situation that could have been prevented. So you have to pay attention to the prevention measures. It's not okay, we found one person who was shooting and now look. So if I give a function, if I give a fight, or if I give a function at a venue and somebody walks in with a gun, I don't have any liability at that. Don't I, as the promoter or as the person that's giving the event, aren't I supposed to put up preventative measures So if something like this breaks out, so something like this won't break out, it's called being proactive. So every time I threw a fight, my security always had a wand on them that checked for weapons and metal. Then I had indoor security and outdoor security. Those are preventative measurements. Okay, so if I don't have any of that, and somebody walks into my event and opens fire, you don't think that I didn't shoot them? I didn't have shit to do with them getting shot. Well, yes, I did. I didn't have the preventative measures in place. So you don't have to just think that the shooter is the only one that's guilty. He's the only one guilty of pulling the trigger. But there are liabilities and preventative measures that are put in. You have to put preventative measures in place. The police dropped the ball. The only way that the police didn't drop the ball here is if they talked to an administrator and they said it was okay for these kids to be there. If that's true, then somebody from the administration is in trouble. That's the bottom line. While we're sitting here having this type of debate of who's at fault, I'm going to tell you right now, the court will clearly, when this family files their civil case, they're not going to file it against the shooter. They're not going to file it against the shooter. You know who they're going to file it against? CPS and Cincinnati Police Department. CPS and CPD. Let me say this, because Emmanuel made this point yesterday, and I don't know where it's coming from, bro. And you think that people okay with people violating people's rights and shit like that. This is not a rights violator. If the kids do not have permission or don't supposed to be on property, the law has every right to move them. I think I think the disconnect is if truth was told. I think we have a deception problem here. Away from who the shooter is. And when we try to act like that we not paying attention to the shooter and we're distracted and all that old stuff, no. Without saying, it's very obvious that the person that's in fault here is the actual shooter. I mean, some things understood don't need to be explained. I mean, we know that the shooter is at fault. But you also have liabilities from people that have preventative measures. That's why you have to have permits. That's why you have to have rules in place to have functions. I think you just want to argue, E. We don't know if those kids have permission to actually be there. And just because the police, and this is weird coming from you. This is so weird because you always the one talking about the police be lying and shit. You the one that's telling me. Right now we have a police officer talking to dispatch that says the kids are saying that they have clearance to be on the property for a little longer. That's what the tape says. And then we get the police chief that says, well, we had a couple people we were talking to who they just said, it was okay, No, be specific. Don't you think? Okay, why not be specific? All right, well, Tom owned the building. Wyatt did the function. When Wyatt called me, he asked me who was the kids outside the building who was still there. And they said that Wyatt, just like Tom said, they said Wyatt said it was okay. So what did Tom do? He called Wyatt. Wyatt said, I don't know them guys. So Tom did what he had to do to get them guys off the property. He didn't make up some bullshit and say, well, Wyatt, you know what? Wyatt said it was okay for y'all to be here. So when y'all get finished, man, make sure you throw all your cups and shit in the trash can. I'll see y'all on the next event. And what's wrong with the police chief saying? I think the reason why she wasn't specific is because it was probably underage kids that told the police officer what the principal said. Y'all know how they can't bring, youth's names and IDs up in cases? Because it would be very easy for her to say, well, you know what? Very easy for her to say, well, we spoke with the principal. The principal said it was okay for them to be there. Makes sense to me. Come on, somebody call. Somebody explain something different. Tell me how it's not looking the way that we was talking yesterday. Oh, jeez. I guess I got to play this again. Before I play it, let's go to the phone lines real fast. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Wyatt is Ambra. Thank you for literally bringing some light to this. You know that don't make no sense.
It
We
don't
have
make
to
sense,
stop
sis. Come on, man.
being reactive, and we have to understand that you have to be proactive. I said, think about the situation. Do y'all remember when Travis Scott had his concert, Astro World,
Yeah.
and all those people died?
Yeah.
Who did they hold responsible? The promoters. When they sued him, his record label, the promoters, everybody.
Right.
We're not saying that once they do need to find out who the shooter was, but the parents, because or not the parents, the aunt, she ain't no. I'm telling you, this little boy did foolishness,
hold on,
and they
Amber,
asked the right questions.
Back up. You broke up a little bit when you said the aunt. You said this little boy, and it went out.
I said this little boy's family, and then I was gonna say his mom, but it's not his mom; it's his aunt.
Yeah.
The aunt is asking the right questions.
Absolutely.
Now we can't bring Lamont back, but he shouldn't be gone in the first place. We all know that officer was lazy, maybe because of how, the situation in our country is with the police and, white officers and black kids. They wasn't doing nothing but celebrating graduation. Leave them alone.
Right.
But guess what? At the end of the day, the police officer's duty, his duty to the Hamilton County residents is to keep the residents safe while he's on the clock.
That's right.
And if he did not do that, for whatever reason, it doesn't matter if he was graduating. I mean, it doesn't matter. When shit hits the fan, you got to be held responsible for that. That doesn't exclude that the shooter will still need to be held responsible. It doesn't matter. This is what they have. We all know civil cases. And what's the other one? The criminal. Mm-hmm. They're going to hold, when they find out who shot him, that boy's going to, or whoever the child is, or whoever is the shooter, they should be criminally held responsible. But the criminal don't have nothing to do with the civil. We all learned that watching the OJ case.
Right. It's just funny, we get an opportunity to explore this situation, and it just cracks me up. It almost makes people who holler about the police all the time, it seems their arguments are disingenuous. You know what I'm saying? Because here's one opportunity that they really have to be able to say the police aren't doing what they're supposed to do. You know why I think they got a problem with admitting that the police are wrong on this one? For the same argument that you made and what I made yesterday. This police officer was doing police work the way y'all want him to.
Yep. Leave folks alone if they ain't doing no crimes. And then you just pointed out that you loitering. And then like Emmanuel, well, ain't nothing wrong. Yes, it is. This is why you're not allowed to loiter. Because if somebody brings a gun and some people get shot, then it's a problem. That's why, guess what? That's why you can't go to Woods Park when the sun is down. You can't go up there. Well, we just sitting up here. Me and my husband just sitting up here enjoying the water. It doesn't matter. The park is closed.
Right. There's rules. There's laws. You can't be on property.
You don't get to just do it. The craziness is.
And here go the other thing.
I said it. I said, all them houses around there, it's amazing that no white folks call the police. And here we go. They did call the police. The police just dropped the damn ball. Now think about the homeowner that called the police, or the several ones. I knew something was going to happen. It was too many damn kids down there, and the police dropped the ball.
They did. I mean, and let's just think of it like this. What did you say? Winton Woods Park? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I'm saying like Hamilton County parks. All Hamilton County parks, they close at dark.
Hold on, sis. I'm just gonna make a point. Here's the thing: if you and your husband are sitting in Winton Woods Park, and it's after hours and it's closed. I don't care if the mayor of Winton Woods rolled through the park and say, "Oh, it's okay for y'all to be here." That's not the procedure. That's not the proper protocol. A mayor can't just say, or the chief of police can't just say, "It's okay for you to be here because I say so."
Yeah.
No,
And
there's
people act
rules.
slow. Now, come on now.
There's rules and regulations, and there's a reason why there's rules and regulations in place.
So that things like this don't happen.
Exactly.
And you can't prevent the fool that brought the gun, because no, we don't know what was happening. But guess what? It didn't even matter if the boy was trying to shoot Lamont. It doesn't matter. You wouldn't have been able to shoot him at Withrow High School on their property if they wasn't there. He would have had to shoot him somewhere else. So the whole thing is they shouldn't have been at the school on the property.
And let me ask you something, Amber.
Yeah.
Do you think that the principal, in your opinion, do you think that the principal gave
that
permission?
Damn principal ain't had nothing to do with it. That's why he
exactly.
said, Lamont, he hugged me when he left. I'm going to remember him. He was a good citizen. He spoke very highly of him because apparently he had a relationship with him. And you could just tell, I'm not just speaking as the school representative. I actually knew this kid. And I'm sorry that he died. However, if he would have been the one to say, I sent the police away, I just feel like he would be way more emotional because the guilt would be on him.
They say this was an A student.
This my student, but I ain't had nothing to do with this. I wish I would have known.
Amber, you knew this young man. They say that he was an
No.
A student.
No. I did not know this boy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
He reminds me of my son, and it's triggered something in me. And it really need to trigger something in everybody, because this was a good kid. This was a kid that was going to be something, and it was snatched away from him because a lot of things went wrong.
Yeah.
You can't bring them back. So guess what? Pay this family and do the right thing and stop trying to cover up, because when you cover up, you literally are siding with the people that did wrong, which is the killer. You don't side with wrong. You do the right thing, even when everybody else doing wrong. And they just need to say, we still investigating, but you're right. That police chief said, "Oh, we spoke with some individuals." Well, who the hell is the individual?
And they said
we didn't speak with we spoke with the chaperones that were on. So you would have said something. They had adult chaperones. There was 10 there. Our officer talked to them. They would have been very specific.
And there would have been no
police do.
And there would have been no reason. There would have been no reason to hide the fact that you covered bases at that point. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you cover everybody know. You cover your ass when you dealing with press conferences. They covered their ass all right because they know they like, damn it, Tom, you dropped the damn ball. Why didn't you just tell the damn kids to go along?
Well, we know why. It's the same reason why.
Because of the issues in our country with Black youth and the police. It's bad relations. It's bad. Well, you don't want to be the asshole. No, it's not being an asshole. It's doing my job. It's 11 o'clock. And even if he said, okay, well, they said it's okay. Come on now. What time was the next call? Because I guarantee it wasn't one call. What time was that Ring doorbell recorded? 3 o'clock in the morning?
That was the gunshots.
That's what I'm saying. The gunshots was at 3, but you're not about to tell me somebody started calling the police about 10 o'clock, because people was probably like, it don't get dark to what, 9:30? About 9:30 on a Saturday, they was probably cool. But at 11, they like, all right, they getting too many people.
I got the right one.
Too many kids is getting rowdy.
I got the right one on the phone. I'm going to go ahead and open up this can right here. Don't you hear the same people that are talking about we need to start policing ourselves, too much policing involvement, too much police, too much policing.
I ain't policing these kids. They're not kids that respect authority.
Here's my thing.
They don't respect authority.
Here's my thing. If you want to start pushing the agenda of self-policing, you better start working on self before you start working on the police. I've said that several times on the show. It's great to have police. It's great to have self-policing when we have people taking care of self and we don't need the police. Less interaction with police, I agree with. But it's not, we don't have to have police around us if we're not doing things that's breaking rules and laws. They have no reason to ring your doorbell. They have no reason to pull up on you. So
Nope.
if you're going to talk about self-policing and taking the police out of what we're doing and making it hard, this is why they can't recruit police officers, because police officers don't want to engage with people. They don't want
Yep.
to do it. And here's a perfect sign of the police department finding themselves in a situation where they couldn't win. If they would have
Yep.
told them kids to go home, get their asses
They
off
would
this
have been.
property.
Everybody would have been talking mess. Even the
Exactly.
police they messing with the kids. They just graduated. Can't they just be kids? I already know. So they thought they were picking the lesser of two evils. But that's why you don't appease.
You don't bend the
the
knee to
crowd. You don't
bullshit.
bend it. The rule is the rule. If you don't like it, take it up with the mayor. If the principal said it, well, the principal's not here, so I got to break it up, because if something goes wrong, it's going to be on me. Come on,
Okay,
guys. Yep, congratulations. Have a good evening.
Let's say
And
this.
that's what you do.
Let's say this. Let's say that the principal is standing there at 11:30 at night in the parking lot. Which
He was not.
I know he wasn't. I got to give him the benefit of the argument of the doubt of the argument. Let's say that the principal, which this man, this is not him. I just don't have it in my heart to be able to believe that. Let's say that the principal was there at 11:30 and he cleared it with the police that they were going to be there for a little bit longer. How does 11:30 turn into 3 o'clock in the morning if you have responsible supervision there? How does that happen?
It didn't. Wait a minute, hold on. It wasn't no supervision.
Hold on, let me ask you something. What nightclub in Cincinnati stays open till 3 o'clock?
I don't think none.
Okay, I need somebody to let me know, because I'm not a nightclub dude. I always thought
when I used to go to the club, when the club let out at 2, the police was like, "Go get in the car." You know, about 2:15, they need you out the parking lot because they trying to leave.
I just need to know what nightclubs stay open till 3. I thought that the cutoff was 2 o'clock in the morning in Hamilton County. That's what I thought. But I haven't been to the night.
This is another angle I have a question with, Wyatt.
What's that?
If there were kids, 30, 40 kids in a parking lot, what's the curfew on Saturday for kids?
Well, I don't know.
Kids can't be out in Hamilton County all hours of the night.
No, Jack said reggae spots, bro. Them underground spots.
But those are adults. I'm talking about kids. This boy was 18, which is a teenager. And I mean, I guess maybe he can, but you're not about to tell me that some people, I graduated at 17. People graduate and be young. The fact that you didn't know the ages of all these 30, 40 people, that's when it should have been. You're like, hey, if you're not going to have enough police officers to go around and say, where's the permit? And then who's making sure that it's nobody that's underage? Was it drinking? You know, loud noise in the city of Cincinnati. You can't have music up all hours of the night. That's a loud noise ordinance. It's so many things that's wrong that you like, y'all listen. The easiest thing would have just been, hey, y'all loitering. I don't have no paperwork that says that this is okay. So y'all got to clear it out. Sorry, y'all got an hour or two before this and it's over.
Hold on, Amber. I see a lot of people saying 18 years old. The victim was 18. I don't believe
30 to 40 kids.
Right.
I know. I was with 16. I was with 18-year-olds.
Yeah, I can't believe that all the kids out there were 18 plus years
old.
They
were not.
You can't tell me that. And no, I don't believe that. I had friends that were older than me. They were 18.
First
and I was 16
wait,
17.
If everybody was 18, there's no club in Cincinnati on Saturday that 18-year-olds can go to?
Well, they wouldn't be open till 3 o'clock in the morning. They don't even
have I know, but I'm saying that kids would be in a parking lot because they're too young to go to a club or something like that.
Let me say this. Most teen clubs don't even make it in Cincinnati. They all get shut
down.
I'm
about to say, I don't know.
No, what I'm saying is most teen clubs in Cincinnati fail because there's too much drama and things happen, and the curfews was always 12 o'clock. They had to shut down teen clubs at midnight.
Yeah, I like I said, they dropped the ball.
What's up, sis? There go Tracy Dillingham. Hold on, let me read her comment. Amber. She says they should not have been on school grounds, period, at that hour.
Yeah.
Unsupervised. There it is. Common sense folks know what's going on here. Anybody that's trying to add anything different, look, that's part of the problem of why this type of shit happens. Because we got too many people that try to justify bullshit. Y'all want the community to police itself, but you don't want to fix the people so they can police themselves. You want to fix the police. That ain't how it works. That's not how it works.
Look. I just looked up the curfew for minors with its chapter 9-11, I guess the Ohio Revised Code. It shall be unlawful for any minor 16 years of age or older under the age of 18 years old to be or remain about or upon any place in the city away from the dwelling house or usual place of abode of said minor between the hours of 12 a.m. and 5 a.m. So guess what? They all was in the wrong.
But wait a minute. The police chief said that they weren't breaking any they weren't breaking any laws because it was 11:30.
Yeah,
so
but
now,
guess what?
So now,
what he should have done is stayed in his cruiser or called it in and said, we got to come back in 30 minutes to make sure they're dispersing.
There you go.
That's what a responsible officer who was trying to do his job would have done. But because he didn't, and nobody else went back over there until 3 o'clock when shots rang out, that's how you know you dropped the ball. So between those hours of 12 and 5, nobody should have been congregating that was teens. And they knew that these were all teenagers.
Everybody there wasn't 18. Y'all need to stop using this imaginary shit. You can't tell me that everybody at that party was 18 or older. You just can't tell me that.
They can't. You know why they can't? Because if it was a school function, they would have had to get paperwork signed by anything, but it was at the school.
You gotta have that anyway.
Up there.
You gotta have that anyway. You could be 25 years old. They can't throw a function without it being approved by the school.
Yeah, these folks need to, like I said, I told you before, when it happened, I think Monday when I called, the little boy looked so much like my son that it literally triggered me. And my son, by the grace of God, he graduates on Saturday. So if it was your son, if your son was Lamont, how would you feel about it? You wouldn't want to be like, okay, I can't bring him back, but who dropped the ball?
Yeah.
Who dropped the ball? And I don't want this to happen to nobody else's son. I don't want nobody else to feel what I'm feeling like, and we have to stop as a community. These white kids not getting murdered. They not getting murdered on their graduation night celebrating.
Drinking and driving,
so we have to stop making
drinking and driving.
Bad behavior.
Drinking and driving might be an issue in them type of schools.
Yeah, but come on, man. Like I said, we are losing our good Black men. This little boy could have been somebody's husband. He wasn't gonna be the next dude in jail, robbing and Pookie and them. He wasn't gonna be that. And if all we have left is Pookie and them, who your kids, who your daughters gonna have children with? Pookie and them, and they gonna make some more Pookies in them. So I'm just saying we have to stop and we have to start advocating for the good ones. The good ones they need to be able to live. And the bad ones, if they want to be rehabilitated, then they deserve to be rehabilitated. But people need to understand you have to hold people accountable for their actions. If you take a job as a principal, my sister's an assistant principal. Her job is to make sure every kid that's in her custody is always safe and protected from harm. And if he didn't do that, hold his ass responsible. But the police of Hamilton County, this wasn't Green Hills police that dropped the ball. This was Hamilton County, Cincinnati police. They dropped the ball. He should have did his job, or he should have stayed close, or he should have went up the street and came back at 12. He could have came back in an hour. If he would have came back in an hour, the boy would still be alive. He didn't even think nothing of it. It didn't even cross his mind.
You know what? I wouldn't say that, sis. Let me tell you why.
Yeah, he ain't going back.
No. Let me tell you what I think, in my opinion, based on the logic that you just brought to this argument. I wouldn't say that he didn't care. I wouldn't say that he didn't want to disperse it. I would say that he was probably, hesitant in doing some things that could have been controversial, with him breaking up something that he knew should have been done. And he was okay with them being there as long as nothing was going on or nothing happened. And who's to say that he wasn't right down the street or right around the corner when the shots went off? We don't know where that police officer was, but we do know that maybe he did. But we talking 3 hours after they got there. This happened 3 hours later. So we're talking.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying in those 3 hours, if you knew, well, dang, okay, what rule are they breaking for me to even want to come up here? Okay, the people call it noise ordinance. Okay, what's the rule for noise? Okay, 12 o'clock. Okay, it's 11:23. All right, hey, y'all, I got what you're saying, the principal. Okay, I'm going to be back in about 45 minutes. Y'all going to have to wrap it up. Because he's an officer of the law. He can say that. He can make that, hey, I'll be back in 45 minutes and okay, I'm gonna let y'all celebrate, but you know the rules. I gotta enforce the rules. People don't want to do their job.
But hold on. The police officer said to the dispatch that the kids had permission from the principal to be here a little bit longer.
And
That's
didn't
in the
check to
news.
verify.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he did. This is what I'm saying. Just from yesterday. Okay, because I had to challenge Ron on, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear the police chief, and Ron was right. I started the show by saying Ron was absolutely right. Channel 5 showed that the police chief said they spoke with several people at the scene who said that they were, that they didn't break any laws and or anything like that. And then we talked to a couple people who said that the principal said that they could be there for a little longer. Now, I just need to know if one of those people that she wasn't specific about, I don't need their name and number and social security number. I just need to know.
Title.
I just need to know who they are, like what title or what position do they hold.
What gives them the authority to be the one to speak on behalf of XYZ? That's what the question is. And like I said, people don't ask the right questions. That's what it is. And it sounds like, I hope they get a good attorney, and I hope somebody gets justice for this young man. Because like I said, anybody who is not, that this ain't tugged on your heartstrings, that, come on, man. Like I said, they need to get justice for this young man.
Well, all I can tell you is we just got to, there's a lot to be learned in this situation. A lot of people, it's not a whole lot to speculate here. It's starting to unravel right in front of our eyes. A lot of people, we all can have our opinions. We can say what we want to say. But the truth of the matter is, it's shocking that the same folks, and I'm reading some of the comments, the folks that want to totally kind of get the police out of this situation are the same ones that are mainly down on the police. And I think I'll go back to my same point. I think it's because y'all have finally seen that the way that y'all do shit don't work. It don't work. Right. This is a perfect example of if shit go the way you want it to go, here's the outcome. And then when the outcome turns out like this, now you have to be defensive of some bullshit.
Yep. There you go. You hit that nail right on the head. This is what you got to say about it. President Biden said he wants justice for Lamont. Maybe then they'll care.
No, he ain't gonna. He don't even know this young man's name.
I already know. They got to put that on the teleprompter for him to read. He gonna be calling the boy. He gonna be calling him labor guard.
Yeah, well, it's sad that this situation has to happen, and we have to lose a life of a young man, especially a young man who had a bright future. I'm gonna play the clip once again of the balloon release of this young man. Trust me, I am not trying to exploit this situation. I just want y'all to see the person that they're saying, being the principal, how he showed love for the family and he was engaged with the family, and how he was talking how good about this young man. I just need to know, do y'all think that this is the type of man who would tell the police that it's okay for teenagers to be on the property unsupervised on a late Saturday night, and they can be there?
Wait a minute. What's his salary? What's the principal's salary? I guarantee 6 figures. Ain't nobody putting a 6-figure job on the line for no foolishness in this economy. Cut it out, y'all.
All right.
Cut it out.
All right, Amber, I'm going to talk to you on the next one.
Have a good one, Wyatt.
Thank you. Talk to you. Thanks for engaging. That was Amber. Let's play the balloon release real fast, and let's look at this principal, and you tell me what you think.
Came together today to remember a Withrow graduate who was shot and killed this weekend just hours after the ceremony. Thanks for joining us at 10. I'm Courtney King. Cincinnati police say someone shot 18-year-old Lamont Wiggins on Dana Street near his school. Lamont's principal says he was always willing to help others.
We are Withrow! Police, look up! I will lift up mine eyes unto the hill.
Right now, the Withrow community is mourning the loss of one of their own.
But we're strong. We're Withrow strong, right? We are Withrow strong. This is going to bring us together.
Early Saturday morning, 18-year-old Lamont Wiggins was shot and killed here in Hyde Park on Dana Avenue near the high school.
Lamont was an outstanding student. He had a heart for people.
Cincinnati police have not identified a suspect or arrested anyone, but officers say they heard additional gunshots nearby when they responded to the scene. Jaron Gray is the principal at Withrow University High School. He gave a speech at the balloon release in Lamont's honor Sunday.
He loved learning, he loved life, and had a great future ahead of him.
Officers say around 50 people gathered in the area Friday night into the early hours of Saturday morning. We know Lamont and his classmates had just graduated hours before the shooting.
I gave him the biggest hug, told him I was going to miss him. He said he was going to miss me as well. He is going to be a huge loss to us here at Withrow University High School.
The principal is asking people to show Lamont's family love and support.
We want to bless the Wiggins family. We want to support them, wrap our arms around this family, provide support, not just today, not just tomorrow, but beyond.
If you have any information in the shooting death of Lamont Wiggins, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at numbers 513-352-3040. A spokesperson for Cincinnati Public Schools says the district is cooperating with Cincinnati police throughout their investigation.
Guys, I just find it hard to believe that an educator would be that reckless. That's just my opinion. And if it happened, then I just have to answer. I have to have a conversation about that. I really think that I don't think this is going to play out the way a lot of people think it's going to play out when it comes down to who was actually responsible for telling the police department that those kids had the right to be on private property or be on school property, CPS property after school hours or after event hours. We're going to have to find out who gave permission and why would the police just take their word for it? Did the principal actually give did they really give permission? I'm sorry, did the principal really give permission to the police officer? That's the biggest question. That's the larger question here. All right. Let's go to the phone line. Sorry, I had a phone call on hold. Hold on 1 second, caller. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, it's Wyatt, man. It's me, Twin.
Twin, what's going on with you, brother? How you feeling?
I'm about to go to work. Just got out one job, about to go to the other.
Ooh,
it's a blessing out here.
He is hustling.
Hey,
he hustling.
Hey, Wyatt, I like this show, man. I like the last caller, man. She got a good point, man. That's why I be trying to tell that childish old E-man, man. If he start playing and listening and everything and take notes and everything, man. Hey, listen here. Ain't no way, just like you said, hundreds, six figures. Hell, no, I ain't about to tell y'all to stay on this property. What I look like. And you know the police probably got word, one of them crazy kids probably told, oh, it's okay. The principal and all them say it's okay. And the staff members say we can stay up here. Come on, man. Y'all supposed to serve and protect. Y'all served them and everything when y'all went up there and told him, all right, he said it's okay. But y'all didn't protect that boy. That boy could have been at somebody's job right now after he graduated or looking to go to college. But no, he down there at the moor and stuff, waiting for you to get stuff, women bumming, flu and everything else. Man, that's crazy, man. I feel for that family, man. And then y'all want to talk about this Trump and all this Biden mess every day, but y'all got a kid that just got killed. No, that man ain't about to lose his job, no six figures he making. And then Emmanuel, Wyatt. Mm-hmm. None of them kids, you had probably an 18-year-old, 22-year-old, 16, and a 15-year-old. You always gonna have one that get the girls, one that get the money, one that is the trigger man, and you gonna have the one that the trigger man. You gonna have one that go get the liquor, and the one that's gonna drive you safe at home. That was all in that group and everything. I hope they got a camera or whatever up there at that school to catch what was going on. But no, the way that sound from that principal and all that, and he was gratitude that little kid or whatever he was doing, giving thanks and honor to him and praising him. But you can tell by it, no, I didn't have nothing to do with this, and tell them kids, and especially 3 o'clock in the morning. I was about to get some, top back in the park. I see the police say you gotta go. At 11 and 12, the park go. And they gonna come through there, do their little swoop, and that's it. You gotta go. But no, 3 o'clock in the morning, I was young and everything, 18, after I got out of school. My first thing was, get faded and go grab me some monkey somewhere. That was my mentor or whatever. my MO to go and everything. But man, it's crazy how it is. I hope these politicians, while they we got a program here and vote this and all that, man, they need to take heed to what happened the other day, man. With all this biting and all this stuff, man, it's a warfare going on, and the warfare is these damn kids, man, and they don't even see it. I don't understand how this community going with this, man. Everything's okay and all. No, it's not. It's the kids and everything. Let it have to happen on the banks or whatever. I bet you they would have got down on them. Oh, I know who killed. Because you go on the banks right now, it's a police right now on every corner looking and everything, seeing what us Negroes doing down here is we'll go do a jump off or whatever. But no, it's crazy how it is. But I ain't gonna hold you up in case somebody else calling, man.
That's okay.
I gotta go clock in.
All right, brother.
I'm gonna keep listening though, man. Just stay on next 40 minutes, 50, because the man ain't gonna be on that BS. Man, ain't got time for that. All right, man.
All right, brother. Talk to you soon.
Yep.
Thanks for engaging.
Yep.
Man. All right, that was Twin. I missed another call. I'm up against the clock, but I think E will probably be on in a little bit. I'm not quite sure. I was reading a couple of the comments, and Seabreeze, hold on one, it's moving. Seabreeze says, Wyatt, why aren't you conversating with Twin? What the LL Cool J was I supposed to say? Twin then put a killer in the car, a hooker in the car, a lookout, the person that can go buy the weed, the person that can go buy the alcohol, and getting the monkey. What I'm gonna say all of that? What the hell am I? How am I supposed to integrate? What am I supposed to? Where I fit in all that? I'm just saying. What am I supposed to say? Where I'm going with all of that? Let Twin say what he got to say, man. This is why he listens to us, so he come say what he want to say. Everybody and anybody can say and do whatever they want. Oh, E-Man said he'll be on in 20 minutes. All right, so everybody who listens, if you want to be entertained, feel free to leave this platform and go right over to E. He probably will have a totally different perspective of my perspective on this case for the police. Now, or in this particular situation, which is great. The great thing about this country we live in are different perspectives. And, it just shows how different people can be, but damn, we should be able to get along, which we do. But, just because we have different beliefs, that shouldn't take anything away from one another. We should still be able to get along, but part of getting along is understanding how things should work. My opinion is if we can't even understand each other, it's going to be hard to be on the same page. Some, in my eyes, are reactive people, and some are proactive people. I don't see it any other way. That's just probably being a little I guess I'm cynical in a sense. That's just me. I think that you either are a proactive person or a reactive person. That's it. Let me go to the phone lines before we get out of here. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
It's Michael.
Hey, Michael.
Snaxton. How are you?
Michael Smaxton?
Snaxton.
What's good with you, Michael Snaxton?
It's not what I said, but okay. Everything's fine. I find it very conspicuous that Cincinnati Public is silent at this point.
Okay, I think that's a good.
At this, because there's a part of me that believes that the principal did say something to leave them liable.
You mean at the scene?
Not at the scene, but just to have those kids there.
And how you think that message got relayed to the police?
Because they're quiet. They're keeping, there's probably a hush policy on the district right now saying we do not speak to the media about this.
Wait a minute, hold on. Okay, I'm a little confused. Hold on. I hear you, but I'm a little confused in where you're coming from, because you tied me up something like that, Fame. I sometimes think that you're going somewhere with this and then you end up somewhere else. But this is something that I want to ask you. So you're saying that you think that the principal could have possibly said something to the police or to the children?
No, to to the children.
And told them that they could stay there for a little bit longer.
Stay there for a little bit longer, or this would be a good place to kick it. Something. He said something to those kids. Because by now, Cincinnati, it's been almost a week. Cincinnati Public's supposed to come out with a statement like, we had nothing to do with that. Had nothing to do with any Cincinnati Public school administrators, nothing.
Well, I'm gonna beg to differ with you on that. Okay, let me tell you why.
Go ahead.
Let me tell you why they probably won't come out with a statement. Because I can guarantee you that they lawyered up. And any public statement, right, at this point could be detrimental to whatever to their case. They're definitely going to be in litigation. I think what happens is once the case, it's going to be a civil lawsuit, okay? But once it happens, then the attention will spread of the lawsuit, of the case, right? Then they'll come out with a statement. Okay, they're not going to come out with a statement defending themselves without a need to defend themselves. That's just not how it's going to work. They know that they're going to have to defend themselves, but I don't think they're going to be proactive on this. I think they're going to wait for the ball chain to hit the building, and then they're going to make a reaction, rebuttal. I think they're going to come out with their claim, and they're going to stake their position in the civil lawsuit. I think that's where they'll make their first statement. Right now, the only person that's made a statement about this is the Cincinnati Police Division.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? And that tells me a whole lot right now. It tells me that they're basically, I mean, even the conference was, hey, we did what we were supposed to do. We came to our call. When we got there, there was information given to my officer that the principal said that they could be there. When we left, there was no laws or anything broke, so we covering our ass. That's what they're doing, okay? Because I think they probably have, and honestly, that's just the approach because somebody has to say something. You're going to expect the Cincinnati Police Division to say something because they always, they're the big man in the room. No pun intended when I say man. I didn't mean anything towards the police chief being a woman. But I'm just saying somebody's going to have to bite the early bullet. And it has to be police because it was a violent situation. Crime happened. A killing happened. Somebody's going to have to say something. And the police department is definitely going to have to say something because now we want to know information about who was the shooter. Who was this? Somebody had to come out and say something. Just happens to be the police department.
You're 700,000% correct. Okay, there's no way around that. Police has to do something. However, what I'm saying is that the reason why the police is quiet because they probably lowered up the family or expected, but at the same time, the Cincinnati public is not as innocent in this as from a liability standpoint as we would like to think.
Who did you say? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Cincinnati Public Schools.
Okay, no, I don't think there is.
Cincinnati Public Schools. There's somebody in that building. Let those kids know that it would be okay to kick it there. Like that's a spot, blah blah blah. Because I know, I go to Withrow several times a year for various sporting events. I knew where they probably were at.
I know, and you're talking about where the
kids on the grounds, and somebody told them, because kids just don't pick a school ground to go kick it on.
I don't know about that.
That's just unreasonable.
I don't know about that. In this particular case, we're talking about a graduation just happened, so they were already there or were around that vicinity. So I don't know if they didn't just. I don't think this was a random spot that they would choose on a normal day. But the fact that they were already in that area and had already had some things going on at that school, which was a graduation, it's strong possibility that they just stayed around and didn't, they didn't have permission.
It's 11:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. It's pitch black out. That's the equalizer. Had to be 2, 3 in the afternoon. That's a different story. But 11:30 at night, 3:30 in the morning, whatever it was. That's the equalizer. Somebody told those kids it was okay to chill.
Well, okay, maybe so.
That's just what my gut tells me.
I don't know. Is it a possibility that some kids may have lied to the police officer and he bid it?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And that was a piss poor excuse.
Let me ask you this.
That was a piss poor excuse that the police took right there, saying, we just said, some individuals, what do you say, kids or individuals, or however he said it, said that the principal told them it was okay to chill for a little longer. You know, all that stuff is going to link.
So let me ask you something, Fane. Did you hear the press conference that I played on here, or did you see the one on Channel 5 where the police chief said
With
that we
Terry Fiji.
Yeah, we spoke with several people on the scene, and they said something to the nature of they had permission to be here for a little longer. I mean, do you think that? What do you think about her not being specific? Like I said, I don't need the name of the person. I don't need the social security number of the person. But don't you think it would be important if she said something like there were people present that made it, that had, the authority to let the kids stay there longer, and this is just what happened? I mean, this is a tragedy. What happened? We know that. I don't know if it was
because I get what you're saying, and the reason why she didn't do that is liability. This is going to come down to liability. Who's more liable, Cincinnati Public or Cincinnati Police? They both got to answer in a federal courthouse, or whatever court the family sues in, and have to explain who did what and when. So, police is being as coy as they can about a murder, as coy as they can about it. So, yeah, they're not going to release too much information and just clearly throw the CPS people under the bus or even their own officer.
Right. And I agree with that. I agree with that. But I still think there's a point where you're trying to look, it's one thing to give information, and then there's one thing to just dangle information. And I don't appreciate dangled information. I appreciate information that leads me to a thesis, to an understanding. Okay. And if I was the police chief and I knew that authoritative figures told us that it was okay for the kids to be there, I would have kind of slanted it that way, just basically kind of to cover our asses at the same time. That's not running the bus, but that is saying, hey, look, when there, authoritative figures told us that it was okay for us to be there. I mean, for the kids to be there. But then when you listen to the clip of the police officer who says to the dispatch, the kids are saying they have clearance to be here for a little longer. I don't understand how we're getting that misinterpreted with, if I think if the dispatch would have heard from the police officer, hey, principal is here. He's cleared these kids to be here. I think that's what I would need to hear myself for me to think that this principal said it. Now, here's another thing that could have happened, Fame. Let's just be honest.
I'm not saying the principal. Hold on. Before you say that, just real quick, I'm not saying the principal told him that. It could have been the assistant principal, the athletic director, a security guard, anybody in the building.
Okay.
Could have told him that if that really happened.
Yeah, but
there's still a lot of ifs right now.
Yeah, and I just, the police, he said he didn't say that the kids said that. I think the police officer told dispatch that they have clearance from the principal. But my thing is, if dispatch, if the police officer said that if the police officer got clearance from the principal directly, I think in the press conference it wouldn't have been any reason or any problem to say the from an authoritative figure to be able to stay around a little longer. And this is what the authoritative figure told them it was okay for the kids to be there for a little longer. The little longer turned out to be 4 hours later at 3 o'clock in the morning. How irresponsible would that have been for anybody to let that happen? The police, see, I don't believe that the school, an individual, and I read your comment, Fame, I don't believe that a principal has the authority to let kids stay on the property until they feel like going home. I don't think they have the authority to do that.
Unless somebody is supervising them.
Well, then
that was the equalizer.
Yeah, I think that was in your comment, and I took that out, but I didn't mean to do it that way. But I don't believe.
You did.
No, seriously.
I was just fucking with you. I'm fucking with you.
Okay, I was gonna say no. Seriously, I didn't. But the truth of the matter is, I don't think that someone has the right to give them permission to stay, because these things have to be approved and they have to be done a certain way. You can't just have a basketball game on Friday night and say, well, fuck it. All right, we win. winning at 20 points, and the principal come over to everybody and get on the PA system and say, all right, we're going to throw a party after the game. You can't, he ain't going to never do that. You can never extend, there's an estimated time frame that these events are going to happen on school property. And the board and everybody, authoritarian figures, know these activities are going to happen prior to them happening. And there's certain guidelines and safety measures that have to go on for you to have these functions on Cincinnati public school grounds. I know that for a fact. I've had a couple different functions there. And I don't think that a principal can just give permission for kids to be around the school grounds, especially unsupervised.
Well, unsupervised and late at night like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, at 11:30. Because let's be honest, whether we like it or not, schools like Withrow, Woodward, Hughes, West High, all these Cincinnati public schools are in high crime areas. So if they're having an event that's going to end after 9 p.m., it would behoove them to notify the local police jurisdiction to say, hey, we got a game here, we got this going on here, come back and holler at us. You know what I'm saying? Just keep us, keep the building, blah blah blah. Just to let you know we're having this going on here. So therefore, apparently it doesn't seem like that happened with this event.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. So therefore, obviously, I think the kids are lying. I think the kids were somewhat lying to the police, but I just don't see a cop being that damn stupid.
I can.
And believe in that. I just don't see that.
I don't think it's about stupidity. I think it's the reactive versus proactive police officers are going through today. This police officer, let's just be honest, he's in a no-win situation, because if he tells the kids to go away, get off the property, then it's going to turn into something like, okay, disruption. They might, say some things to the public. It might turn into a big media fiasco because he made a comment of getting off the property. And if he doesn't do anything like he did and something jumps off, a shooting happens on the property, then he turns into the monster there as well. So he's kind of in a no-win situation because of the temperature of what we're dealing with our police departments these days. And this is another reason why people don't want to be police officers. They don't want to deal with situations like this because they can't put their thumb down. They can't do what they really want to do. They can't say what they really want to say to people because there's too many people that just stand up and support and argue and fight for the bullshit that go on.
Well, to be honest with you, I couldn't agree with that less.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. You probably one of them that be agreeing with that bullshit, and you did
that one time. No, I don't. But all I have to do is I meet back up here at Withrow High School. I seem to have a large gathering, a lot of juveniles. Just send me some assistance. They come over and make the crowd disperse.
Yeah,
that's all.
But
that's all. It probably ain't even newsworthy, like you say. Like you always tell these people, a lot of this stuff don't even make the news.
It don't.
A lot of these crimes and arrests. Exactly.
It don't.
So
but
therefore, this probably don't even make the news unless one of the juveniles gets out of hand.
And that's a possibility that can happen. Have you seen what's been going on lately?
I mean, I guess same old. It's dying.
Yeah, but have you seen juveniles just standing up? I mean, just whatever the police say. I wouldn't want to deal with them either. I didn't say I wouldn't be a school teacher. God bless you. I wouldn't want to be a teacher right now, and I wouldn't want a police officer. That's why I'm not. Because I don't want to engage in these young folks. I don't want to deal with the things that they do with. And that's why they having problems recruiting police officers across this country. Because it's what's going on. And then you have people that stand up and say the things that they say and fight for the dumb shit and disruption and the disobedience and all this old shit. And then they come with these fake ass excuses of why, they don't have to do them all like that. Well, you wasn't even around when they was being disrespectful. You watching the tail end of what happens when somebody then turned up on a police officer or something didn't happen. And what happens is these police officers are falling back. That's why when Black Fox came on, she didn't come on, but she made a comment in the screen one day when the kids up in, I forgot where it was, but they was fighting in the parking lot of McDonald's. And her first words, She typed in the screen, "Where's the police?" And I'm like, well, shit, they probably watching. They probably watched the kids get all in the big group and didn't do anything until punches start swinging. Because as soon as you go over there and try to interfere or say something, the first thing people say is, they ain't doing nothing. Damn, they just kids. They ain't doing nothing. Don't worry about it. That's what they say. It takes something to happen for them to be reactive, and now they want to step down. It's too late once the fight starts. Now you either, it's too late. You got to start doing things before things happen.
Right. But I just don't really, this is me personally, I just don't really see police being that laid back to the point where they're not going to break up a juvenile party in the heart of the city.
Well,
maybe in the townships, maybe Coleraine, people, Fairfield, but the Cincinnati police is not gonna not break up a juvenile gathering at 11:30.
Wait a minute.
That's not no.
Wait a minute. Let me make sure I understand this right, Fame. Basically, you just singled out CPS schools, but you're saying they wouldn't do that same thing. The police department do that same thing in suburban schools, like they wouldn't do it in Sycamore.
No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. And you know damn well they wouldn't.
That they wouldn't.
Let's not try to play coy here.
Wait a minute. I understand what you're saying. You're saying that if this same situation happened in Sycamore, all right, or Oak Hills or something like that, that when the police rolled up into the parking lot and there were some kids out there, you're saying that they would have handled it the same way that this situation was handled?
No, they would disperse them immediately.
That's my point. That's what I'm saying they would have done. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If there was 50 kids in Sycamore's parking lot, and
Hamilton County Sheriffs and Montgomery Police would have said it's over.
They would have made them go home. Why didn't they do
what
that?
I'm saying, what I was saying was that in Cincinnati, police is not going to not be so laxed at 11:30 at night, 3 in the morning.
All right, we on the
with
same
juveniles
page. Okay, brother.
On a school property.
We on the same page. I agree with you on that. But there's a reason for that.
And it's not because of the no police movement, whatever that shit is, that people be talking about, or that you're trying to express here. It's not that. That didn't happen.
Okay.
I just don't think that cop was that damn. Somebody influential did something at the scene. And told him that.
Fame, this is where we agree. I ain't got nothing but love for you, brother, but I think this is the point where you and I disagree to agree, because I don't think that an educator who controls a school like that would give permission for kids to be on his property that he's responsible for after hours with no supervision. And if he did, bro,
teachers be fucking kids, man. What are you talking about? These teachers be fucking their students. You don't think they like to hang out with them?
Well, there's been a few situations like that, but I wouldn't say that that's that's not the majority. That's bad. That's bad.
Okay, no,
that's not fair.
That's all you needed right there.
That's not fair.
It happens.
Fame, that's not fair.
There are some teachers. There are some teachers and employees in the building who are just too damn cool with the kids.
I will say this: most of the teachers that are in these school systems care more these kids than the average person, obviously. And I don't think that most of them are having sex with the students. You're going to have that. You're going to have police officers that do bad things. There's bad people that do every job on this planet, from pastors, priests, to everybody, from meat packers. No pun intended. I'm just saying there are bad people at every profession. All right. And you're going to get it in teaching or in education. You're going to get it in everything. So to just say that these teachers sleep with the kids and that's why they're capable of letting these kids do whatever, that's not a fair thing to say, because we could say that about every profession.
I disagree that it's unfair to say, but I'll say this, because DG said, Terry Fiji said that, they've been in contact with individuals who said that they were okay to still be there or whatever.
Right.
That puts Cincinnati Public on the hook, because they're allowing kids on school grounds unsupervised.
Yeah, and that might be it. See, that might be the one thing that we really need to know. What I think is what would have been putting the school on the hook is if she would have said, we spoke with authoritative figures who said it was okay for them to be there, and since they weren't breaking any laws, we left. That wasn't what she said.
Well, we hear that from the police dispatch radio said that.
No.
He didn't say authority figures, but he said the kid said that whoever said it was okay to stay.
Wait,
who did the got those individuals' names.
Who did the kids say?
I thought he said they actually said, but remember that's what dude said on the dispatch.
Yeah, he told the dispatch. He told the dispatch something to the nature of they have permission from the principal to be here for a little bit longer. Now, what we need to figure out is, did the police officer say that because he spoke to the principal, or did he speak to, you know what I'm saying? Who did he speak to?
He spoke to the party. He spoke to the party goers, and DG said they got those individuals' names.
Okay, well then that's gonna be where where it starts.
So exactly. So it's gonna be who's more liable, the school district or the police.
Yeah.
Because we know the police will do some weird shit. We seen the kid up at Seven Hills a couple of years ago when they didn't for him, and he's dying, from suffocation.
The kid in the van.
In the van.
Yeah.
So we know the police will do some really weird shit. But they're going to hook in Cincinnati Public because you're having a gathering on your grounds with 50 kids that later resulted in gunshots and a death. And you had this gathering there, told kids they could be there late, and didn't have proper supervision. Right. That's what they're going to go. That's what they're going to fall back on. Right. It's kind of fluid at this point, if you ask me. Just got a couple questions that he answered, but the ultimate result is rather fluid. Yeah. But hey, that's all I got, man. Let me switch over to your mans and them.
Okay, bro.
And I'll holler back at y'all soon. Be well. No howl today. Old school shit.
Thanks, Fame. Hey, that was Fame engaging in the conversation. I want to thank Fame for coming in and talking to us. I want to thank Amber. I want to thank anybody else that called, Twin, and all those that wanted to call, who was in line to call, who wanted to call, who didn't call. I appreciate you even thinking to call. Come check us out tomorrow. It's Friday at 1:00. Peace and love to everybody. Go check out E. See what he's talking about. I'll holler at you. Is it funky enough in here?
Y'all ready for this? And then comes the 2 to the 3 and 4. Then I drop the beat I have in store. Lay the lyrics on the top like a rug. Make it sound smooth and later make a dub. Enunciate well, so that you can tell I am not illiterate, no, not even a little bit. Nothing like an idiot. Get it? You want the record? Cool, I'm with it. Let the rhythm take you, shake it cause it makes you. As I turn the knob to the door, you escape through. Going like a nut, don't be a pup. And I let it play cause dress ain't funky enough. Rasta. Let's get funky, let's get funky. Let's get funky, let's get funky. Let's get funky, let's get funky. Watch the smooth lyrics that take place. If you want another reason why it must be funky, yo, I am not a jackass, meaning not a donkey, so I will play the game like it should be played. Drop the funk and do the mix so the bass will never fade. Ship it to the station in your jurisdiction. Others say I'm dope and the others think I'm bitchin'. No crowd can avoid the D.O. to the C. When I'm P.E.O.R.I.M.I.N.G. on the stage. See, the simple fact is I am dope and known. I rock a funky beat without a chord, so and it's my conclusion. You will enjoy the fusion, and I will ascend with the style that I am using. Knowing that it's tough, and it's not a buff. I think I'll let it play, cause dreads ain't funky enough. Hip hop. Let's get funky, let's get funky. Let's get funky, let's get funky. Let's get funky, let's get funky. Try to make the funky hip hop music, so check it. Listen to the kick, popping with the click, and with no rehearsals, and dropping funky verses. Stupid with the bitch with the thing that you are relying on. You love it when it battles, is the fact that I am buying on suckers. Never come close cause of knowing. There's no stopping the doc when I am flowing, but in the event someone would try to juice this, stop him in his tracks, show him that I am ruthless. I don't give a damn, don't think that I am joking, cause I don't think he is funny when you're messing with my money. And stupid tell me this, you'll try, you gotta stop him, but with no frills, so I just drop him. Continue with the rhyme and make sure I get mine with no static. G to get my 9, but less than 7 Rasta. Let's get funky, let's get funky. Let's get funky, let's get funky. Let's get funky, let's get funky. Deal with the deal to the sea. I need a break so I can check around. See who the hell that is sitting down. I want all chairs off the floor. And if he stands to the wall, show him the door. And I'm picking the beat to give you something to rock to. I go non-stop to not to look at the clock. You perceive but can't believe you're being taken. By a beat so cool you start shaking and shivering. Cause I'm delivering the answer. Haven't seen if you're a hell of a dancer. You try sitting but it just won't work. Cause the beat is so rough. So tell me, tell it to be funky enough. Sing it with me. Let's get it funky, let's get it funky. Let's get it funky, let's get it funky. Let's get it funky, let's get it funky. And with the help of the Dr. Dre, kick it. Na na na. Na na na. Na na na. Na na na. Let's get funky on the mix now, right? Let's get funky on the mix now, right? Let's get funky on the mix now, right? Let's get funky on the mix now. Hey, put it in the middle and drop it on the one, boy.